the victory.
What's your Pepsi?
That's fine. But no, zero sugar Pepsi. It's fine. Okay. Welcome to this episode of Fifth Quarter Roar. That's the new title that we're going to call this now instead of Coffee with Grumpy. So it'll have more of a football themed title to it. We just got done watching the Lions play the Saints. Josh and I are going to review some of the stats, and then we'll talk about what we saw in the game. I have a few questions for him about some of the stuff that we saw today. So we got total yards, 346 for Detroit, 362 for New Orleans. Penalties with that crew, that didn't surprise me none. 6 for 45 and 6 for 50 on
About even.
Yeah, so we had 2 turnovers with two fumbles. Right, no, we had fumble and interception early in the game by
Brian Branch.
There you go.
Again.
Okay. We didn't go for it on 4th down this game.
No.
The Saints attempted one time. We had 16 for 25 for 205 yards passing. New Orleans had 19 for 29 for 249 yards passing. And I'm going to ask Josh about the Jameis Winston experience. So the guys that commentating were talking about. He knows more about that. He knows more about that than I do. But wait, we'll talk about that here in just a second. Rushing touchdowns, 2 for Detroit, 3 for New Orleans. Time of possession, 27:50 for Detroit, 32:10 for New Orleans. Let's see. We'll look at this. What stands out to me with the stats is we scored 21 unanswered points in the first. And we'll talk about that in just a second, too. Anything else we see here that's outstanding? No. Okay. Did you expect these guys to put up a 40 burger, right? Because we were 21 points up, 21 to not in the first quarter. Did you expect them to put up 40 points, a 40 burger, and then not have to worry about the game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, by the way they came out, right?
Yeah, they came out with 21-0. I mean, you knew that was going to happen from losing from last week.
I didn't expect that because
I expected them to come out and score some points.
This is the Detroit
be
Lions.
Frustrated.
They do this to me all the time. They come out, they look fantastic. They score 21 points and to nothing. The Saints couldn't get nothing going.
No.
And it comes down to the end of the game where I'm about ready to have a heart attack because they had the ball last, but we had the ball last. We actually ended up.
We've learned how to win.
Yes. And I think the coach, Dan Campbell, and them, they always want to have the ball last. So that's a good thing. Now, tell me about the Jameis Winston experience. Because the commentators kept talking about Jameis.
Man, he either throws the deep ball and gets it, or he'll throw an interception. One of the two.
Which we've seen a couple that were pretty close when they brought him in after Derek Carr got hurt.
Yeah, he almost threw a couple interceptions.
They roughing the passer call with Bruce Irving. Right?
Man, he was a fucking impact today.
Yeah, well.
He got the sack, created more pressure.
He left his feet when he made that tackle on Carr. And yes, I feel bad that Carr got hurt. But there was no way for him to turn to not fall on the guy because he was off his feet.
It was already, he was
already committed.
Yeah, he was already, yeah.
So.
But he made a big impact today, and we just signed him. I think that's what the little small piece that we needed.
That we needed? You get a pass rush.
Oh yeah.
And I had earlier in the year had picked this game to be a loss, but we got the W. So I kind of changed my mind over the past week after we lost the Packers on Thanksgiving. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to rehash that one again. We're going to leave that in the box. But another good victory. We had some turnovers.
Brian Branch got a second interception.
And there were a few passes that were almost turnovers. Because if Brian Branch wouldn't have tipped that ball,
yeah, Jerry Jacobs would have got
Jerry
it.
Jacobs would have got that turnover instead of their receiver catching that ball. So Josh and I are tickled that we won that game. I mean, you may look at us and think not, but it was one of those games where it came down to the end. Where, like I said, I don't know why Lions do this to me, but sometimes they play games that they get down to the end and it's like, come on, let's get over the hump here and let's get this. They did also stall in the third quarter, though, right? Because they did go 4-0 in the third quarter.
Yeah, it did for a little bit.
Which has been a Achilles heel for them. But they did come out strong in that first quarter. That was like, I want to see them play like that all the time.
Yeah.
But so we got the W. I think Josh and I are gonna call this one, but I think I have one last question for him. So the 49ers are playing the Philadelphia Eagles tonight. We're going to watch that game here in a minute or two. Who are we rooting for?
Long term game, we want the Eagles to lose, and we want the Eagles to lose a couple games.
Do we want them to lose this one? The 49ers.
I mean, we need both teams to lose a couple games, or we have the 49ers lose, and then we take the second seed.
Because I have our magic number at 4. We need 4 wins, and we just got 1. So we need 3 more.
I mean, there's a big difference between the second seed and the third seed.
And next week is Chicago. We're going into Chicago.
Oh, that's going to be a win.
Bears.
That's definitely going to be a win.
Right. So we go in, play in Chicago, and we play my daughter's favorite team, the Bears. There's no sibling rivalry here in my house when it comes to whenever the Lions play the Bears. So I'll just throw that out there. That kind of thing. So what we'll do is we'll wrap up this fifth quarter roar with Josh and Grumpy, and we'll talk to you all later.